Y'all, did Russell Crowe just drop the bomb that could shatter Hollywood's golden couple image forever? Because if what he allegedly said is even halfway true, Keith Urban's spotless husband act might have just gone up in flames. Sources are buzzing that Nicole Kidman warned Keith about a secret affair long before she filed those quiet divorce papers. And now, Crowe's shocking reveal is setting the internet on fire. Was this a betrayal Nicole saw coming? Or was Keith's charm just another perfectly crafted illusion? Buckle up. Because what's unfolding sounds less like a love story and more like a Hollywood cover-up gone wrong. Let's rewind the Hollywood timeline for a second back to when Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban were the definition of a perfect marriage. Red carpets, couple interviews, shared giggles, and magazine covers that screamed relationship goals. But behind the photo shoots and picture-perfect smiles, something darker was reportedly brewing, something that even their closest friends didn't see coming. Now, according to a shocking new claim making rounds online, Russell Crowe, yes, the Russell Crowe, Nicole's longtime friend and confidant, may have just shattered the illusion completely, allegedly. During a closed-door conversation that somehow leaked through unnamed industry insiders, Crowe revealed that Nicole warned Keith about his behavior months before their split. But the million-dollar question is, what kind of behavior are we talking about? Insiders are whispering words like emotional distance, late-night calls, and mysterious co-stars, apparently. Nicole had been hearing the Hollywood grapevine hum with stories about Keith's professional chemistry with a rising pop country singer he'd been collaborating with. And while Nicole initially brushed it off as gossip, things started adding up. The late studio sessions, the canceled family dinners, the sudden need for privacy, all the classic red flags wrapped up in a Grammy-winning smile. But here's where it gets wild. According to a so-called studio technician who claims to have overheard a tense phone call, Nicole confronted Keith during one of his recording breaks. The alleged quote, "You can't play husband by day and rock star by night forever, Keith." And that's not coming from a tabloid headline, that's straight from one of those anonymous sources that Hollywood loves to pretend doesn't exist until it's too late. And let's not forget, Russell Crowe has known Nicole since the early 2000s, back when both were navigating fame, failed marriages, and the ruthless entertainment machine. So, if he's hinting that Nicole saw something coming, it means she didn't just stumble into heartbreak, she predicted it. Imagine sitting at a dinner table, smiling for the cameras, knowing deep down your husband's creative inspiration might be coming from somewhere. Or the alleged affair rumors didn't explode overnight. They simmered quietly. Fans started noticing the shift in Keith's demeanor during interviews: less warmth, more distance. He dodged questions about family life and redirect them to his music journey. Nicole, on the other hand, seemed to be growing quieter too, like a woman silently preparing for impact. And that's when Russell reportedly stepped in. A supposed friend close to the actor told an Australian gossip outlet, Russell warned Keith that Nicole doesn't play games. She gave him a chance to fix things privately, but he didn't listen. If that's true, Russell wasn't just spilling tea, he was serving a full Hollywood roast platter with extra drama on top. Because that single statement shifts the entire divorce narrative. Up until now, most fans assumed Nicole and Keith's split was just a matter of growing apart or conflicting schedules. But if Nicole warned him, he still ignored it. That turns a quiet breakup into a full-blown betrayal saga. Think about it, this wasn't a woman blindsided by tabloids. This was a woman who allegedly knew something was wrong and gave her husband a final chance to make it right. Social media, of course, has gone into meltdown mode. TikTok detectives are analyzing old red carpet clips, looking for the moment it all changed. Twitter threads are comparing Nicole's past statements about trust and emotional loyalty to Keith's interviews about creative freedom. Some fans even claim there's a pattern that Keith has a history of letting fame blur the lines between admiration and temptation. And through it all, Russell Crowe remains cryptically silent, no confirmation, no denial. Which, honestly, makes things even more suspicious. Because in Hollywood, silence speaks louder than any press statement. It's the quiet that screams. There's more to the story. By the time the tabloids caught wind of this supposed warning, it was too late. Nicole had reportedly already made her decision. Her team started preparing amicable separation statements. Keith's PR agents started cleaning his social feeds. And Russell's private comment suddenly became the most viral quote of the month. So the question everyone's asking is simple. Was Russell Crowe trying to protect his friend or accidentally exposing her ex-husband's secrets to the world? Because in this town, truth isn't what's real, it's what gets leaked first. And if the whispers are true, Nicole Kidman didn't just walk away from her marriage, she walked away from a ticking time bomb that everyone else refused to see. But hold up, because that's just the beginning. If you thought the alleged affair was the main scandal, wait until you hear what the leaked reports claim happened after Nicole confronted Keith, according to new so-called insider info. This story doesn't end with heartbreak, it spirals straight into damage control, deception, and a PR nightmare that's still haunting both of them today. When Nicole Kidman allegedly confronted Keith Urban about his rumored affair, it wasn't a screaming match or public meltdown, it was, as insiders say, a masterclass in quiet power, according to a supposed friend of Nicole's. She didn't storm out or throw accusations. She simply told him, "You already know what I know. Now decide who you want to be when the lights go off." And that line, if true, hits harder than any scandal headline. Because behind that calm tone, Nicole was allegedly sitting on a folder full of receipts, texts, photos, and timestamps that painted a story of emotional betrayal, not just physical. Reports claim she hired a private investigator weeks before the confrontation. After noticing changes in patterns, Keith's team calls that nonsense, but the gossip mill doesn't agree. Here's where Russell Crowe comes back into the picture. The whispers say Russell was one of the first people Nicole confided in, someone who told her to trust her instincts. An anonymous source who claims to work in film PR said, Russell knew something was off long before the press did. He wasn't stirring the pot. He was watching it boil. By this point, Keith's alleged professional friendship with his young collaborator was getting noticed beyond Nicole's circle. Paparazzi caught the two at multiple post-event parties, and one blurry photo of Keith leaning in to whisper something at a music festival became exhibit in the court of public opinion. Fans tried to dismiss it as innocent, but as one gossip site sarcastically wrote, "Nobody whispers marketing strategies." At 2 a.m., then came the infamous unreleased footage rumor. Supposedly, a behind-the-scenes clip from one of Keith's music video shoots showed him and his co-star sharing a little too much chemistry between takes. While the clip never surfaced, just the idea of it set social media ablaze. Hashtags like #KeithGate and #Nicole started trending. Fan pages that once posted couple goals now posted timelines of where it went wrong. Nicole, meanwhile, stayed completely silent. That's when people started realizing her silence was strategy. It wasn't weakness. She wasn't hiding. She was calculating. In Hollywood, image is everything, and Nicole's brand has always been that of poise, grace, and quiet dominance. She didn't need to clap back or go live crying. She simply showed up at events looking radiant and unbothered, as if to say, I already left that chaos behind, and that's exactly what infuriated Keith's fanbase. They wanted denial, closure. Something. Instead, they got elegance. As for Russell Crowe, insiders say he became the accidental whistleblower. He didn't intend for his private conversation to become gossip gold. But when word spread that he had spoken about Nicole's warnings, the tabloids ran with it like wildfire. One outlet even quoted an unnamed crew member saying, Russell felt bad for Nicole. She saw the storm coming and nobody believed her. Meanwhile, Keith's PR team was working overtime to redirect attention. Suddenly, new music teasers appeared online, interviews about artistic rebirth dropped, and a few conveniently timed charity appearances popped up. Classic Hollywood distraction tactics change the narrative before the narrative changes you, but the internet wasn't letting it go. People started connecting dots that might not even exist, claiming Keith's new songs were subtle confessions and analyzing every lyric as if it were a diary entry. And of course, YouTube was flooded with body language experts dissecting old interviews, claiming they saw emotional disconnect and avoidance cues. The deeper fans dug, the worse it got. Someone leaked what they claimed was an old text exchange between Keith and his alleged collaborator, where he wrote, "She doesn't understand this side of me." The message's authenticity was never verified. But once it hit Twitter, it didn't matter, people believed it. That's the thing about Hollywood scandals. Truth isn't defined by facts. It's defined by how viral a rumor gets. By this stage, the so-called Nicole warning had become a global talking point. Morning shows, gossip podcasts, and entertainment blogs all ran their own versions of the story. Some painted Nicole as the strong woman who saw through her husband's act. Others accused her of orchestrating a sympathy narrative before announcing her next big project. The internet, as usual, took sides: Team Nicole versus Team Keith. And then came the most unexpected twist: Keith's rumored collaborator suddenly went private on all social media platforms. Her reps said it was due to harassment, but the timing couldn't have been worse. If she wasn't involved, why vanish just as the rumors peaked? Russell Crowe's name started trending again. People accused him of exposing too much and playing messenger in a game he didn't start, one entertainment columnist wrote. Russell didn't like the match, but he definitely pointed at the gasoline. Keith's camp reportedly reached out to Russell's team to clarify his comments. But there was no public statement, no retraction, just eerie silence. And in that silence, fans filled in the blanks themselves. By late summer, paparazzi photos showed Nicole attending industry events solo, smiling wider than ever. Some say it was her way of reclaiming control. Others call it the calm before the storm. Either way, the message was clear: Nicole Kidman wasn't looking back. But what nobody expected was that this story, this alleged affair, this morning would spiral into something much larger than a breakup. Because according to a few Hollywood insiders, what happened after the split wasn't just emotional fallout, it turned into a quiet power war between reputations, allies, and public sympathy. And that's where the real chaos begins, because after the confrontation, after the so-called quiet separation, the story didn't die, it multiplied. Hollywood insiders say what came next wasn't just a breakup. It was a full-blown media chess match, and every move was deliberate. Nicole Kidman, the woman who once said she can finally wear heels, was now standing taller than ever, but this time, it wasn't about height. It was about reclaiming her narrative before someone else rewrote it for her. Within days of Keith Urban quietly moving out, a whisper campaign began circulating through the industry. The phrasing was the same across gossip blogs, PR leaks, and anonymous entertainment tips. Keith and Nicole simply grew apart. It sounded polished, safe, controlled, until Russell Crowe allegedly decided to ruin the script, according to one Hollywood tipster. Russell was overheard telling a close friend, she warned him. She told him straight up to stop before it became public. The quote was never confirmed. But that didn't matter, it was enough to send shockwaves through every entertainment outlet from Los Angeles to Sydney. Suddenly, the amicable divorce narrative was replaced by something juicier. Nicole Kidman had warned her husband about an affair, and he ignored her. That revelation flipped everything. It changed Nicole from the distant movie star who couldn't hold a marriage together into the heartbroken wife who saw betrayal coming and still tried to save it. Overnight, sympathy shifted. Talk show hosts debated whether Keith's silence was guilt or dignity. Fan pages flooded with messages of support for Nicole, and hashtags like #SheWarnedHim and #Nicole Better trended for days. Meanwhile, Keith Urban's PR team scrambled to control the bleeding. One insider claimed his publicist ordered. A tabloid out of London ran a headline that read, Nicole's warnings ignored the affair she saw coming. They cited an inside source who claimed Nicole found evidence of emotional infidelity months before the divorce filing. Whether true or not, it didn't matter. The headline alone went viral. And then came the curveball rumors that Nicole had confronted the other woman. The story goes that she called her directly, not to threaten or fight, but to say, "You can have him if that's who he wants to be." Cold, controlled, classic Nicole. The alleged phone call became a symbol of quiet revenge. Fans on social media called it the classiest breakup move in history. Through it all, Russell Crowe's name kept floating back to the surface. He never confirmed or denied anything, but every time he showed up in public, on red carpets, interviews, charity events, paparazzi shouted the same question: Russell, did Nicole really warn Keith? He never answered, just smirked and walked away. And that smirk became the internet's new obsession. Memes called him the accidental exposer. Twitter users joked that Russell knows where all the Hollywood bodies are buried, behind the scenes. However, the tension was real. A source close to Keith reportedly said he was furious that Russell's comments had reignited the story. One gossip site even claimed Keith's team considered taking legal action for defamation, but cooler heads prevailed. Instead, Keith was advised to stay on brand, keep performing, keep smiling, and wait for the story to fade. But the story didn't fade, because Nicole Kidman wasn't hiding anymore. She started subtly reclaiming her image. First came the Vogue photo shoot shot in natural light, wearing no wedding ring, titled "Standing on My Own." Then the exclusive interview, where she never mentioned Keith's name but said, "Sometimes silence is the loudest truth you can tell." It was a surgical strike. No names, no details, but everyone knew exactly who and what she was talking about. That interview sent a message not just to Keith but to Tom Cruise, too. The ghosts of Nicole's past were haunting the narrative again. Every time she spoke about silence, the media replayed her old divorce clips, her "I can wear heels now" joke, her history of emotionally absent partners. The public couldn't help but connect the dots to marriages, to men, to emotional disappearances. Russell Crowe's accidental leak had done more than expose a warning. It had reignited to decades of buried Hollywood tension. It made Nicole's story bigger than a failed marriage. But what really broke the internet was what came next: a leaked studio memo, allegedly from a film Nicole and Russell were both attached to. The memo reportedly read, "Due to ongoing media attention, publicity pairings with Crowe and Kidman are to be reviewed." Translation? Hollywood didn't like the heat. The industry that thrives on scandal suddenly wanted to distance itself from one. That's when the theories started spiraling out of control. Some claimed Scientology had resurfaced to control the narrative. Others insisted Keith's label was buying silence from major outlets. Even entertainment lawyers started whispering about non-disclosure agreements and sealed files. It stopped being just gossip, it became mythology. Meanwhile, Nicole did what she always does best: turn chaos into power. Her upcoming film, conveniently, is about a woman betrayed by her husband who rebuilds her life in silence. Fans called it the most poetic revenge ever, and when the first trailer dropped, featuring the line, "I told him the truth before he told me lies," the internet lost its mind. Comment sections flooded with references to Keith, Russell, and the alleged affair. Nicole didn't need to name names. The message was already loud and clear, and Keith? He kept touring, smiling for cameras, avoiding questions. But fans noticed something had changed. The sparkle was gone. Every love song he sang now sounded like an apology that came too late. By the end of the year, one entertainment blog summed it up perfectly: Russell Crowe didn't destroy Keith Urban's marriage, he just reminded everyone that Nicole Kidman warned him first. And maybe that's the truth here. Maybe the real story isn't about affairs or rumors or who said what. Maybe it's about the one thing that keeps repeating in Nicole Kidman's life: men who mistake her silence for surrender, and always regret it when she finally speaks through action, because in Hollywood, words can lie. But silence? Silence tells the truth louder than anyone wants to hear, and that's where we leave it: a warning ignored, a silence that spoke louder than any scandal. and a Hollywood legend who walked away stronger than ever. But what do you think? Did Nicole Kidman really warn Keith Urban before it all fell apart? Or is this just another twisted tale from behind the velvet curtain? Drop your thoughts below because this story is far from over, and trust me, Hollywood's secrets never stay buried for long. If you love deep dives into celebrity chaos,